Well, just looking at the ever reliable Twitter, so far so good. No, I got a lot of emails last night and today from friends, from alumni, from people that work with us, and then just looking, from what I see out there, I think people appreciate why we did what we did, and also the fact what we came up with as our logo going forward.
Steve Stamkos apparently has tweeted that he likes your new logo. Do you have a reaction to that?
No, I don't.
How do you like it, the logo?
Well, obviously, I like it a lot. It's it was a real collaborative thing with everyone involved, and it was something that we were thinking about last year as well. And it's a real process with the NHL and with Reebok to make a change like this. And when we talk to our players, we talk to our alumni, we talk to some of our our own historians that really sort of know the details of how we came to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm very pleased, with what we've come up with. And I always say it's just one piece of what we're trying to do here. And ultimately, what's most important is what the players do while they're wearing the sweater.
Brendan, what do you hope this represents to a generation of young fans who have never seen this organization win a Stanley Cup?
Well, again, I think it still all depends what we do with the sweater on. And this is just one little piece, and we're trying to take care of all the details that we think are important to us. And I thought it was important to us that we get back to the story of why we became the Maple Leafs. And there are some subtle changes to the logo, but for those that thought we were going to look for some radical changes, we weren't. We've got too much respect for our history. For the people that built this organization, guys like Teeter Kennedy and Syl Apps and George Armstrong, and we thought that era, our first real dynasty, was sort of the inspiration for what we wanted to do with the logo going forward.
Brendan, can you recall what made you, as a group, want to decide to change it?
I guess when I came here, I just asked the question why it ever changed. I always loved the look of the original Maple Leaf, and I just wanted to know why it did change. And it seemed most popular with our fans. Our players loved whenever they had an opportunity to wear what they would call a throwback type of sweater with the logo. And then what we're trying to build here and the history that we want to emulate is one that we identify more with that logo than the current one. And again, I asked a lot of questions of why we ended up changing and didn't get a lot of really good answers. So it seemed more and more like the people in Toronto and the people within our organization wanted to go back to what Conn Smythe had in mind when he first said we're going to be the Maple Leafs.
Brendan, do you have anything else on your checklist in terms of the history or things of this nature that you might want to? I'm just thinking you had the ceremony for Dikion.
Finish that. That I might want to divulge. So
Yeah.
the first part of your question is yes, we do have some more things on the checklist, and the second part is no, not that we would want to divulge at this time. But everything I think people are recognizing, everything that we do, big or small, whether it's concrete or just gesture, it's really about what we all have in mind of where we ultimately want to be, and that's we want to be a championship organization again.
Speaking of that checklist, or a different kind of checklist, the trade deadline's coming up. How's the planning for that going, and how active do you expect to be?
Well, I'll leave that up to Lou Lamoriello, our general manager, and suffice to say that we'll be prepared like all teams will be at that day, and it's an important time for us and how we, as an organization evolve. And last year's trade deadline was very important to us. This year's, I'm sure they all will be, but we have a very competent man in Lou and a very competent team of executives that are assisting him.
Whoever goes or whoever stays, ultimately, how important is it, the symbolism of this new sweater, this new logo as a kind of motivation for what you guys are building and what you guys are trying to do?
I think it's just one small piece, quite honestly, and I think that it was important that we showed it to the players first, and I think that they understand and appreciate that everything Mike has done since he's come here as head coach, everything that Lou has done since he's come here as general manager, it's all again about trying to get us back to the place where we feel that we should be. And some of that, it's really all about what we do in the future and what we do wearing the sweater, but some of it is also paying homage and remembering the sort of peer pressure we have and what we have to live up to, and the standards that were set by some historical Toronto Maple Leafs in the past.
You were pretty plain spoken last year about the need for patience and the process you're involved in, but what's it been like to live through this season and go through that?
Well, it's always frustrating when you're in the moment, you're competitive, and you're in the game. And Mike's a perfect example. He's never, when he's out in the on the bench during a game, he's just trying to win that game. And we're the same when we're watching. So it's not like frustration doesn't creep in, but at the same time, you wouldn't be human and you wouldn't be competitive if that didn't, if you didn't feel that on certain nights. But it doesn't change the fact that we've all come here knowing sort of what the ultimate plan is and some of the difficult roads that we're going to have to endure as we try to get there. And I can say this, that the ownership, our management with Lou and Mike and our coaching staff and our players, and our fans, especially our fans, they get it, they're supportive, and we've got a lot of work ahead of us still.